You want to know how and to what end I orchestrated all of this? Ask your questions. When Irimaris ordered us to lay waste to the monkey settlements, Tazara and I encountered resistance. I have hunted your kin too long not to notice how well you in particular were fending off our attacks. The rout in Tazara's arena, the appearance at the plundered vessel. Your kind are usually powerless against us, but not on that occasion. I began to suspect that you could not have managed it without outside help. Help from our side. I began sending out spies and assassins. My eyes and ears infiltrated your vessel, your cities, and they discovered a trail that led back to one of your worlds. A trail that ended with a burned monkey, the source of the information about where and when my cabal was going to strike. A little trickery to draw you away from the planet. And I had your little informant in my grasp. How the information was reaching his agents, the burned monkey himself did not even know. But based on the units involved and other details, it was clear. No monkey in real space could have gathered such specifics about raid complements and objectives. No, it was inconceivable. The information was being fed to you by my own kind, and I knew who. Irimaris Aziriesh, Archon of the Reaving Tempest, my former mistress. A cowardly bitch who punishes anyone who threatens her grip on power. I knew that to win a war against her, I would need the support of the Reaving Tempest's patron, the Cabal of the Black Heart. So I allied with Nazrake, who presided over the trial. I promised him that Irimaris would be humiliated. I promised him evidence. A lowly monkey that would disgrace Irimaris in the eyes of the Archons. For that performance, I needed you. Of course. If I'm not mistaken, you met the infiltrator yourself. A Cabalite who left a lava from Tavantius in one of the monkey. Or did you never work out the reason for the treachery during the raid on your ship so long ago now? Then there is no need for me to mention the sleeper agents hidden on your worlds. Overthrowing an Archon is far from easy, even one who has already tarnished her reputation. Every member of a Cabal has their supporters, and Irimaris is no exception. Nazrake promised me a sham trial in the Obsidian Court with a predetermined outcome. Irimaris should have been convicted and dethroned. I was supposed to take her place and turn the Reaving Tempest into a loyal vassal of the Black Heart. Nazrake was supposed to be the axe that fell on her neck. But it fell on mine instead. It was devious and worthy of praise, but why? A secret pact with Irimaris, or is there another reason? I will tear the answer from his throat along with his final breath. It must be said that Nazrake did not have to try very hard to turn the court against me. Not after the stunt you pulled before the assembled Archons. Who? I have no idea what you saw in your stupor. The homunculus's creature does not elicit specific images. It muddles your mind, forcing it to paint suitable pictures evoking confusion or fear. Neither Tavantius nor I care about fussy monkey rituals. The lava must have created a suitable environment for you. One in which you would be more willing to answer my questions in the Obsidian Court. What do any of my kind do in real space? We were reaping. Kamara was clamoring for meat. The Dark City had suffered losses in the latest disjunction. We needed sources of sweet pain to prime its minds and bodies. When the Archon bade my cabal collect the harvest from the region, I did not suspect that it would turn into this game between you and me. Conspiring? No. There was no plot between us. She merely rushed to my bait. At first, I planned to use the one you trusted, the burned monkey with whom we had spent long hours awaiting your arrival. But my cousin was so swift. Afterward, she tracked down the monkey, killed him, and took the device that he had been using to contact me. I planted the first poisoned seeds in her soul back at our first meeting. I dropped a hint that I knew what had become of her world. I lured her in and left her with you. Time took care of the rest. That and an unpleasant discovery aboard your own ship. I did not ask her to hand you over to me. No, doing that would have made my poor cousin doubt herself even more than she was already. I simply told her where to seek out the traces of her craft world and the answers to her questions. A favor for a kinswoman, nothing more. And then I made ready for your arrival. For the only way she would reach that place was with you. When a monkey is left alone with me and my art of pain, I plunge them into a deep well of suffering from which they will do anything to escape. Your kind have fragile souls. Your convictions and principles are a delusion that lends a mirage of meaning to your lives. Achilles and I had plenty of time alone together before your arrival. When he went out to meet you, he was already mine. I bought his loyalty with a promise to never touch his body or his mind ever again. I know it exists. I know that my cabal found it, helpless and stationary, unable to protect its sons and daughters. I know that Iliad's kin began showing up as prisoners in the Reaving Tempest's spire, where they were fonts of exquisite, delightful pain. I spent too much time beyond the limits of our home to learn more than that. But that was enough to tempt Iliad with false hope. Why do you say that? I promised to reunite her with her kin. A long-awaited reunion in a torture chamber. I find that very touching. They would have had so much to discuss. But there would have been time for fun as well. We cousins get together so rarely, after all. We've already had words. I have no reason to conceal the truth now. Iliad has outlived her usefulness to me. Watching her face as she learned the truth was priceless. Mandrakes. A foul breed that lurks in the bowels of Camorra. Their ability to find paths through the shadows was put to good use. I promised them forbidden trophies from the Reaving Tempest's coffers once I am Archon. Let them come for what they're owed. They will regret it. Did you not hear me when I answered you the first time? I do not like to repeat myself. Then what else do you need? The continuation of my existence. When I lost my standing, I became fair game for anyone tempted by the prospect of slaying a disgraced Cabalite. For vengeance, or just for the pleasure of the kill. In Camorra, a lone Drukhari is a target. My talents may be prodigious, but I held no illusions about my chances. You cannot hope to understand the intricacies of Camorra and how it is structured. We are all each other's allies and worst enemies here. Towers of strength and duplicitous traitors both. The cults have always been half a step below the cabals in the hierarchy, and the witches relished the chance to abuse someone who once looked down on them. If our conversation is finished... I had no intention of ending my days playing the role of meat in the arena. And then you blithely offered me an alliance after what I'd done to you. Why? So our interests align, for now. The Dark City is the bastion of the Drukhari, the most magnificent of all our strongholds. The Cabals, witch cults, and the Incubi inhabit the place, with swarms of scourges flying overhead and a myriad of misfits and horrors, including the covens of the homunculi wallowing underfoot. Which do you want to know about? The Cabals are the foundation upon which rests the power of the one who rules Camorra, Hasdrubal Vecht. Whether it is a mob of berserkers or an organized cartel, their essence is the same. An army of killers, ready to ravage entire worlds at the behest of their leaders, or to rip out the throats of a neighboring cabal in a war declared by the Archons. What more do you need to know that you have not already beheld with your own eyes? They are the mistresses of the arenas, and they're the gladiators who feed the audience in their ravenous agony with exquisite spectacles. Cults often travel to real space on the Cabal's raids to revel in the pain and to capture fresh meat for their arenas. The aloof Incubi. They dedicate their lives to the art of killing, so much so that they do not plot or chase after delicious torment. All their hatred and longing for suffering are channeled toward perfecting their skill. Winged Drukhari, who have chosen to go through an agonizing process to become such a monstrosity. They escort raiding ships and inflict the first strike on the enemy. In Camorra, these creatures huddled in flocks so that they do not fall victim to the more formidable of their kin. Artists of the flesh who prefer to hide away in their laboratories and create nightmares from the materials their servants supply. Engines of pain, grotesques, racks, all are the fruits of their subtle craft. On a mountain of bodies, bathing in our enemies' tears and blood. Do not deceive yourself by thinking we will escape this place alive without violence. I, for one, hope that there will be plenty of it. But there is one unfortunate detail. An Arabenian has stepped into your path, one of Kegarak's tribe, who lurk in the tangle of the webway. I've heard them called harlequins in your tongue. The one that appeared in the Obsidian Court is the most dangerous and unpredictable of all. I'm beginning to think that his visit is a sign that the events unfolding around us have not been left to chance. Perhaps they are the result of interference at the behest of the highest authority. Do not keep me waiting too long. My weapon is tired of languishing in its sheath.
Wait, you're serious? The thing is, Lord Captain, my neighbors from behind the door have come roaring back into my sick little mind. They must have missed me, because they're noisier than ever now. But I guess that's better than being a pawn in the hands of Xenos doing experiments on myself. Looks to me like we're up to our necks in every type of shit known and unknown to humanity. Could there be a way to sneak out of the arena? I don't know, Lord Captain. Right now, I can't tell the difference between my own thoughts and the voices, let alone come up with an escape plan. But of course, it's possible the whispers will give us a nudge in the right direction. It's harder than usual to pick out anything specific. With all these dampening gadgets around, it's like trying to hear through a wall of static. But if I try harder... The threads are very tangled. Some of them are woven together, but each one is trying to pull in its own direction. The puppets think that they have free will, but it's only because they have been ordered to think and act so. This is a skilled puppet master at work here. His dark hand is far away, but that only makes it more terrifying. Even a colorful doll that springs out like a jack-in-the-box and scampers around wherever it pleases does so by his leave. You must listen well to the strange melody and step in time with it. Its music is dismal and dangerous, but it does not echo the chorus of torment. This does not mean the dance will not be bloody, but once you learn it, you can lead the steps. Little time is left to gulp down the bloody dust. The twisted mirror with no reflection beckons you into its labyrinth and offers hope in a moment when death is inevitable. I can't make out. Damn it! It's a lost cause, Lord Captain.
It will take some time. I can heal grievous wounds and correct disfigurement, but remake my nerve endings from scratch. Such delicate and painstaking work is beyond my capabilities. Every day with you brings new challenges.
By the throne! Why have you still not put the Xenos to death? First treachery, and now the murder of an agent of the Golden Throne. What will it take for you to act? A knife in your own heart? Allow me to state the most likely version of events. The Xenos Iliad embarked on a plot with the Xenos Maraze. Achilles discovered said plot and paid for it with his life. And afterward, they fed you this poorly concocted tale to exonerate the enemies of humanity of wrongdoing. Regrettably, little. Camorra is the city of the Drukhari, the sprawling Xenos domain built in the very plexus of the webway. This is the home of their cabals, and the launch point for their raids into real space. The Xenos' most supreme leaders dwell within the shadows of this place, and this is where the Drukhari bring their bounty, as they have brought us. I would tell you more, but I can't. Not because of the prohibitions of the Inquisition, but because the information is fragmentary and unverified. Based on what we have learned here, we are in the prison of one of the arenas where the Drukhari killed their prisoners as public entertainment. These Xenos feed off pain, which means that entertainments like this are not a whim, but a necessity for these abominations. They need pain more than they need air to breathe, and so these performances must be held unceasingly, and raids to acquire new victims must continue without interruption. I cannot offer a ready-made escape plan, but I do know that the Drukhari are constantly vying and warring with one another. Their chiefs take pains to keep their servants from complete mutual destruction. Perhaps, if you could find a way to exploit their personal feuds, we will have the faintest chance of survival, and an opportunity to slip away. Do you actually want to hear what I have to say on the topic? Or was that just a polite turn of phrase that demands only an equally polite and insincere, "You are mistaken, Lord Captain"? I hope you do not need me to tell you that taking any Drukhari into your retinue is a stunt that falls somewhere between blasphemous heresy and incredible foolishness, let alone a Drukhari who has already succeeded in bringing myriad calamities down on our heads. I cannot imagine even one good reason why you should have taken this step, but I can think of plenty of bad ones, and that is what alarms and troubles me. Iliad is directly responsible for us being lured into her kin's trap. They plotted against us together. That she herself ended up a captive only shows how nefarious and brutal these creatures are by their very nature. Whatever story she spun you, it was the height of naivety to believe it. The Emperor protects.
Not to see them cut down. But as unclean. For us and the All-Father. You are the one who has supped the Lord of the Skjalds, I see. In the long haul, some of my brothers would be eager to tell you of their exploits so that you would sing a saga of their deeds. I am a wolf. My pack answered the Inquisition's call and came to the Coronis Expanse. There was a battle, and then the young wolves yearning to be meat for their brotherlings. To a feast of bolters they went out roving. Though they were but few, one long fang with them went loping. Not to see them cut down by scythes and clean. The pups he sent scattering, and there stood alone the paths guarding. For a foe he long spied, one worthy among unworthy. The song of swords singing, they clashed with clamor and skill, until stood the old wolf upon the bones. Then, by the birds of battle, was he brought down. Was that clear enough? This saga sounds less interesting in prose. That butcher sent you to spy for him, did he? Or do they know nothing of the Emperor's Angels, the space wolves of Fenris, or the great Layman Russ in your corner of the galaxy? For his own safety. When I am not busy killing inhuman spawn in the arena, the Xenos fear my will. But I sit in a cage while you roam freely around their city. They do not fear you. Maybe there is a reason for that. Maybe our fates are not the same at all. A predator does not eat only when it is hungry. There are many reasons to eat. Escape? What for? Here I eat, here I kill. Why would I want to leave? To get what you want, you will have to convince two very headstrong individuals. Me and my captor. That claw-handed Xenos. you serve the Emperor? Or are you a puppet with the hand of that Xenos butcher up your arse? How am I to know whose words you speak? Yours or his? How am I to know what plot you're trying to draw me into? Why would I be? You are a stranger. How can I trust you? You could be an enemy. Worse, you could be an idiot. When I rip your insolent tongue out of your throat, do not ask why. This is why. Gave? Well, if he gave me to you, step into this cage and take me. You think a filthy blasphemous Xenos could do whatever he pleases with me? Come here, you wretch! You have hidden on the other side of those bars long enough! Come in here and repeat your filthy words so I can kick them back into your bloody, stinking muscle! Fine! You got a rise out of me. And from what I can smell, you did not soil yourself in the process. I respect those with courage. I can work with you. It seems Tervantius is not as clever as he likes to appear if he's letting me out of the cage. The joke is on him. Good steel I have already. But if we are going hunting, I will need my wolf skin. What did you say your name was?